All right, everybody, welcome back into the Rick Rule Investment Symposium for Natural Resources. Happy to step into the royalty space, actually. And it's been a while since we've had Empress Royalty Corp onto the podcast, but we are changing that now. Happy to welcome in CEO and President, Miss Alexandra Woodyer-Sharon, to the pod.
Hi.
Alex, good to see you.
It's great to see you, too.
It's been so long. How you doing?
Very good.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is like the best birthday ever. You get to hang out with all your best friends in the industry.
Exactly, and all my great shareholders. I had someone bring me cupcakes earlier.
Gosh, that's
been
awesome.
A great day.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you're having. I'm glad you're having a great day. It's good to be connected. It's been a long time since we've had Empress onto the podcast, so I thought we just general overview of how the royalty space has been working for you. You have a very unique business model within the royalty space. I think most people listening are going to be familiar with it, but maybe get a sense of that business model and how it has fit this bull market we've been in now that we've got, $4,000 gold. Are you noticing a little bit more leverage to your business model compared to other royalty companies?
So just starting off, we launched Empress about 5.5 years ago. I think we talked to you pretty early on in our sort of evolution. The concept when we launched Empress was that the streaming companies were doing bigger investment sizes, and no one was providing streaming to the smaller side of the market. Right. So we set up Empress with that concept. We pulled a lot of the team together from Endeavor Financial, and we would all work together in the past to build this company out. So initially we invested in some development and production stage assets. Those are now all in production, the 4. And so we generated $17 million in revenue for 2025. We're forecasting to potentially double that for 2026. We've already done $9 million in revenue for the first quarter of this year. So those 4 generating assets, they're all gold and silver. So we're completely tied to gold and silver. Yeah. The other thing is with the revenue now coming into Empress, we've had $20 million, this is the March 31st number, is $20 million in gold and silver that we're holding. So that really also gives us a strong leverage, and it's a good way to invest in gold and silver using our business model to do so. Yeah. So we've had the 4 producing assets that I think when we last talked they were development, but now they're all producing and showing real money. We've invested the $24 million into the portfolio, and we've got close to $50 million back in revenue in the last couple of years. So it's growing the company out, and what this has done is it's given us the financial flexibility and it's stabilized the company. So we now have a stable business that we can grow from here. We've built the foundation, and now it's time to really grow. We'll continue to do things that we've done before in the development as of the production and advancing production. And that will be the key driver for our business. I'm looking at some larger transactions globally because we are in Mexico, Peru, Mozambique, South Africa, and we'll continue to go in Africa and South America. But sorry, I was going back to what I was saying there. We've got that foundation in place. But we're going to start looking at select development and exploration assets and investment opportunities with royalties there. So, that's going to give a lot more long-term optionality to the company. We're sort of really looking at ones of companies that have had management teams that have had success in the past of getting a mine into production, whether it's directly themselves or whether it's JVs. So it's an interesting time for us to be continuing the diversification in the core and DNA of who we are. Yeah. But now we can be a full mining cycle royalty company. And that's what this, getting the money up front like the way we planned to, that's happened. And now we can reinvest it into new opportunities without diluting our shareholders. And that's been key for us. I mean, the last financing we did was 2022, and that was specifically, we raised $2 million in 2022, and that was specifically to bring in our amazing host here, Rick Rule, Jeff Phillips, a few other individuals. Wow,
that's incredible growth. I don't think many companies in this room could say the last time they made a raise was 4 years ago. Yeah. In a terrible market.
And now we've got $20 million in gold and silver on the balance sheet.
Yeah, good for you. You mentioned doing more creative transactions with selective development and exploration companies. Define selective. What do those check boxes look like?
It's all about people. So it's making sure the management teams have a strong track record, the leadership team's appropriate, they've got the experience to move these projects forward, they've got a good track records, and their operational teams, who's on the ground operating them, what's the vision, what's the geologist, what's their background, what successes, what discoveries have they had. So that's what we look at as the people in this. looking at those ones and what's the ability to actually for them to move it forward and what's their chance of success, because obviously we all know exploration is high risk, high reward, but we want to make sure they've got the best odds possible.
With the high run in precious metal prices, obviously it's opened up a lot of opportunities for, select projects or maybe companies that are one project shows that have taken those projects to later stages of development, and maybe they're not big enough for acquisition, so the company decides to build. But higher gold prices means there's more optionality to advance projects. Do you see that? Obviously, I would think you would see that as a great opportunity for your business because you do fit that mold. That seems like a good pairing with what you're offering them and to build your portfolio. Has that been the case for the last 18 months?
Yeah, absolutely. We've looked at a lot of restarts where someone's, revisiting a project and instead of a method to it. We were looking at ones where they're expansion. We're looking at ones that are complete, they're new starts, but they want to do a small startup to begin with because they've diluted themselves so much over the last couple of years. They can start getting some revenue coming in now that'll allow them to do more exploration work and turn it into a bigger project. Mm-hmm. So there's different ways we're looking at it. We kind of flow with the commodity markets. We can go either way, and we see advantages in whether it's lower pricing or higher pricing. And we obviously price things out in real time when we're looking at the deals. So it's very flexible of how we can able to be. And that really is because we all come from a structured finance background. We're ex-bankers, so we know how to work around the constraints potentially on the company or the project, but also their growth plans. Like, we need them to be successful for us to be successful. Mm-hmm. So it really is working with them and understanding what the company needs are. And I'm talking more on the streaming side. We'll be doing the bigger investments and those kind of deals, but the exploration ones come down to the people.
Yeah. It seemed like there was a little bit of a wave of M&A in the royalty space last year. Obviously you had to be paying attention to that, but as the CEO of a royalty company with a very unique business model, did you kind of feel like, oh, that's nice, but we're good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we kept our heads down. We've been working hard at building this out. There's definitely, we've got so much revenue coming to the company. We're not getting true value in the market for that yet. You look at the ratios for 2026 compared to the peers. The industry standard is kind of 16 times. We're down at 2 times, just over 2 times. So, there's a lot of room for us to grow and a lot more value to come into Empress when they recognize the revenue is coming in, and it has been consistently coming in over the years. We've just been focused on doing our thing. At the end of the day, we're all large shareholders in this company. Our goal is to create as much value for our shareholders and for for the company as possible. That's not to say if there wasn't the right opportunity and it was a good price for our shareholders that we wouldn't be considering something like that. But at this point, we're still just so young. We just need to get on and move this company forward. It won't take much for us to move the needle. A couple more deals and moving it forward. So, we've been hard at work at this for 5.5 years. I'd love to continue to be able to keep doing what we've done and keep showing the success and proving it out.
So you think the best way to growth is more accretive deals adding to the portfolio, not necessarily some sort of merger or acquisition of a peer?
I think so. We've proven we can make a serious amount of money out of our investments.
Right.
So it would be great to be able to continue to keep doing that. Especially as we get bigger and there's more diversification in the portfolio, we can bring in and we can start doing larger investment sizes. We've been doing this at a 5 to 10 in the last couple of years. It'd be nice to get to that 10 to 25 or even a little bit bigger than that. Yeah. And then getting even more revenue. This can become a serious revenue generating machine. And the G&A is low. It's $3 million. Maybe we get to $3.5 million. You don't need a lot of people to run this business, and that's what I love about the royalty and streaming space. Yeah,
very good. It's nice to have that reminder when it seems like, I think that people consider bigger is better type of thing, and that certainly seems the direction the royalty side of this business appears to be going. But we can. Debatable, right?
Yeah.
It's debatable. Okay.
There's a balance between being too small, too big, and getting that critical mass. So it's going to be great. We're one of the few smaller ones, so it's going to be good to be able to prove it out further and grow this company.
Okay. Part of your growth strategy, and this was just news out this week, you have engaged geomorphic AI to enhance royalty and streaming deal origination. That was a headline from the news release. We can't do anything without AI anymore. So to maybe talk about what does this mean? Is it you have a computer in the corner telling you where the next hanging fruit is?
So we've teamed up with this amazing group. They've been working on this product and this platform for a long time now, and they just launched it. And I was meeting with one of the two co-founders when we were down here, and they were talking to me about this great product and what they can do, and really fascinating of what they found already as a prospect generator. And so I was like, well, what can we do with royalties on this? So we started thinking through it, and by the next morning they had produced, they've generated one that was an absolute exceptional find that's definitely on our hot list right now.
Wow.
And then we're like, okay, let's dive into this deeper. So we'll be getting into even deeper next week. But it gives us, we've got the machine, what would have taken a couple of weeks to pull together, we were able to get overnight. There's obviously a very strong human element in everything we do, and this will all be reviewed by the team, and we'll have our technical advisors look at it, and but it's very advanced what this platform they've created. It's not just general AI. They've created this real proprietary information, and so I'm very excited to start working closely with them on this, and that will feed us more opportunities too.
So it's just like a lead generator type thing?
Essentially, yeah. It goes through, identifies the projects, royalties that exist. They're digging through old databases everywhere.
Whoa.
They go back years and old press releases, so it's historic. I mean, it's just a world of knowledge.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
Things overlooked, and very, very interesting.
Wow. I mean, because you do have, listen, in the royalty space, if you're doing deals, you got to get real creative with how you find some of these, because they're always like metaphorically hidden in couch cushions, right? And so that opens it up.
It is dusty drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
Dusting up in a drawer. And that's more on the buying side of them, which is why it's great now that we've got the flexibility to look at expiration and potentially buying them, to use this real modern technology and knowledge to be able to do it. But a lot of the ones we're doing, we're not acquiring, we're creating. So we're not going to have that full spectrum in the portfolio of some acquisitions in the expiration, but most of the capital will be deployed into what we've done traditionally, and where the core of our success is the ones that are cash flowing and creating streams on them.
Yeah, very good. Okay, let's say you and I touch base again in Beaver Creek later this fall. Up until that point, what are some things you think you need to get accomplished and get out to your market here in the next couple months?
Our financials will be coming out Q2, and they're in line with where we expect them to be, which is great. I would love to have some new opportunities to be announced. We'll see. These deals take time. We go through rigorous due diligence. We'll be putting the financials out, and we'll be hard at work in the background, and we'll see what results out of that, if anything, before Beaver Creek. Okay.
Well, I look forward to seeing you. At that point, have a great couple months. Congratulations on all the hard work. It's certainly been paying off last 4 years. 4 years without a financing. That's shocking. That's awesome. Good for you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, Empress Royalty does trade on the Venture Exchange with EMPR and on the OTCQX with EMPYF. Thanks, Alex. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in Beaver Creek.
And just a quick editorial note. Following the recording of this conversation with Empress Royalty, the company did announce a $2.5 million acquisition of a royalty purchase agreement and portfolio from Almadex Minerals for $2.5 million in both cash and shares. That was not discussed here, obviously, because that news came about after the interview was recorded. The information presented should not be considered investment advice. Mining Stock Daily and its affiliates are not responsible for any loss arising from any investment decision in connection with the material presented herein. Please do your own research or speak with a licensed financial representative before making any investment decisions.